नमस्कार दोस्तों और जय हिंद। आप सभी को स्वागत है इन माय चैनल 1971 वॉर बुक सीरीज। तो दोस्तों लास्ट वीडियो में आपने देखा है कि कैसे कर्नल एलजेएस गिल अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द ऑपरेशंस, जहां पे उन्होंने और उनके बटालियन ने पाकिस्तानी 93 इन्फेंट्री ब्रिगेड का धज्जियां उड़ा दिया था एट पुंगली ब्रिज नॉर्थ ऑफ टंगाइल, और उसके साथ हाउ द पैराट्रूपर्स फ्रॉम द 2 Parachute Regiment led by Lieutenant Colonel KS Pannu had eventually moved up to Dhaka and had witnessed the surrender of the Pakistani forces in Dhaka city. In this next and last part of our video regarding Paratrooper Speaks, आज हम जानेंगे from Colonel LJS Gill about some things that are unspoken in war, some things that he had witnessed during his stay in erstwhile East Pakistan, presently Bangladesh, before he and his battalion had been moved away back to India. कुछ चीजें ऐसी है जिसके बारे में लोग बात नहीं करना चाहते, लेकिन I thank Colonel Gill for speaking about such things which might include a lot of horrific atrocities committed by the Pakistani forces. So instead of wasting any more time, let's welcome Colonel LJS Gill to our program today.
Still, sir, I think the 71 war is still not over with the discussion of one more thing, sir. That is what people don't like to talk about much. It's the atrocities committed by the Pakistani forces on the Bengali population. Do you recall witnessing any of such atrocities or any evil deeds committed by the Pakistani forces on people and of course on women that I've heard of?
Okay. Well, I in person have not witnessed anything happening because my exposure only happened in combat situations or when the surrender was to take place on the 16th. I have not seen any, but a lot was heard, lot was known. In the university area,
Dhaka University?
Sorry?
Dhaka University?
Dhaka University. While we were in Dhaka, for one day I was there in Dhaka, and moving around, that was the place where these Pakistanis had kept impregnated women in the university area. And it is known, documented, the orders given by General Tika Khan, who launched Operation Searchlight, the orders given to the then West Pakistan Army was to change the race of these Bengalis, impregnate them, change their blood, infuse in them Punjabi and Pathani blood.
Okay.
And obviously, that is what led to this situation. These were the orders given to them. इनका रेस बदली करना है, इनको आधा पठान और इनको पंजाबी blood infuse करो. This was said, acknowledged and stated by many that I have heard, but I have not seen any. That Dhaka University is the place where they had kept impregnated women, and I'm sure in that 1 year several babies were also born when the atrocity started from 25th of March, or they were in the so many children. How many of them were impregnated and kept in till the time that pregnancy term was over? I don't know. I don't know. There must be some figure somewhere. But yes, a lot was being talked of, lot was being complained about, that what atrocity there. Not many people were killed at point blank ranges. Massacres took place. There were, women which were beaten and killed, women who were raped. This happened rampant right across the length and breadth of erstwhile East Pakistan by the West Pakistan Army. This was well known to, it was being talked of.
Horrible.
Absolutely horrible. And to that extent, I think how many children would have been born? How many children are living? How many of those liberation children, as I would call them?
As far as I've heard, sir, Dhaka city and many big cities in Bangladesh at that time had these abortion camps, which were operated by both Indian and foreign doctors who came from.
I'm not aware of that. They must be there. I'm sure they were there. They must have happened. These camps would have come up later, after the war. But there would have been many. I do not know how many, but there would have been many. And I have learned that there are many children who were born and who have lived a life of so-called the children born during that time. I call them as children of liberation.
Right.
I call and I see them. This was the contribution made by those women, Bengali women. This was their contribution to the liberation of Bangladesh. And these children are the symbols of that liberation, and they are the symbols of the atrocities that was inflicted upon the Bengali population. So I also heard, though not seen, but it was well before the attack itself. It was we heard in Tangail, for example, people talking that these Pakistanis had kept women in their bunkers. In the battle zone area, they had kept women in the bunkers. And as and when the bunkers fell, or the position fell, they killed these women and they left. Something similar was also, and this was known before we were launched. I had learnt about it. We also anticipated that probably the similar thing would be there at Poongli Bridge, but there wasn't anything. Nothing on the Poongli Bridge. Yeah. So you can imagine from the front line right up to the depth areas in towns and villages, this is what was going on since 25th of March. That is 10 months.
Almost.
10 months. One thing I can tell you, before the surrender, there was some time, right next to the golf course where we had moved in. It was all peace and quiet with Bengalis celebrating. There was and this golf course is right opposite the airport, right opposite the Dhaka airport.
I think the new airport is the northern part of the city.
Maybe, but then airport.
Then airport.
Right next to that airport. And right next to that golf course was a very upmarket colony. Very upmarket colony. So two officers, senior to me and I, we decided to just go and see with so much of fervor that this colony. So the very first house, it was a bungalow. We opened the gate. There was a driveway, and there was a car parked there in the garage. It was an open garage. Next to the garage was a little portico, foyer. We entered, and then there was a door. At the gate, we rang the bell. We walked in, and we were close to that portico. The door opened. One gentleman, elderly gentleman, wearing a woolen gown, chappals and pajamas, he opened the door. The moment he saw us, we wished him, but before we could speak anything else, he says, please don't come in. You can take my car. We said nothing to him. We told him, excuse, we are the Indian Army guys. He said, don't, please don't. Take my car. Now, just that experience of mine, that incident of mine, acknowledged and confirmed to me the kind of psychological fear of these atrocities that had been delivered to the entire Bengali community. He was speaking English in a Bengali accent, hardcore Bengali guy. So we told him, thank you very much. We only we can tell you that your country is liberated. The war has come to an end. We are the ones who come in now, and we at the evening is the surrender. Expressionless face of that man. one Pakistani captain who was working in the command with the in the southern command, eastern command of the army, Pakistani army, a tall Pathan guy, chatting with him, he boasted. He said, in this city, go and knock any house. If there is a lady inside, she will recognize me. So these two instances, and this guy is from the command headquarters, probably working in around Niazi's office. He was a tall Pathan with green-blue eyes, handsome looking guy. Now these two experiences of mine confirmed to me, I'm quite convinced and certain that, and whatever I heard, means very serious atrocities have been committed. Women have been violated. People have been killed. They have been tortured. There is no doubt in my mind. And of course, there is enough evidence available elsewhere also. But I'm talking about my personal experience. Atrocities were committed. Serious atrocities were committed. And I'm sure many, and I call these children, I'm sure they are 50 now, these people. I do not know how they have led their lives, but they are, I also know that some of them are living, they have lived, some were born and they're living, some were adopted, a lot of them were, children were adopted by the Western world. So they are also, these are the people, these are the children of liberation, they are not the children of atrocities alone. They have contributed, this kind of contribution done by these women, who were impregnated and later killed, and they have delivered, I think their contribution is most significant. Most significant.
Well, sir, I hope Pakistan, for what it has done, gets back in return in some way or the other.
Well, I have some thoughts and views on this. What has happened recently in Bangladesh is an outcome of what they did not understand in their liberation struggle. They did not recognize and they did not identify and acknowledge and factor the contributions made by so many. Look at the contribution made by these women. Look at the contribution made by the civilians who resisted. They defended, they fought, they got killed. Contribution made. The Awami League is a political component. Mukti Bahini was a military component with a very, very minuscule potential to fight, but will to fight. They were supported, aided and provided for by the Indian Army. Indian Army supplemented and took over the role in completing the business. But what about the contribution made by these people? The contribution made by these women, made by the civil population. They may not have fought, but they resisted. They rebelled. They gave information about what is happening to the troops. They all acted as agents of intelligence gathering. They acted as guides to the Indian Army to say where the Pakistanis are. So, to acknowledge, respect, recognize, reward and accommodate this contribution was equally and perhaps more important than the political dimension of the struggle. They recognized only Awami League and their cadres and gave the benefits to them. So it was an unfinished business of the liberation, unfinished business of the nation building. So they overlooked this fact. And what the students have done, this reservation that they so narrowly focused on was only for freedom fighters. It was not for the freedom fighters. Freedom fighters were not Mukti Bahini. No, was not Awami League political people. No.
Yeah.
Fighters were Mukti Bahini. Fighters were public. Fighters were social structure. Fighters were these women who were fighting and resisting and suffering.
Right.
In my study and understanding, and I'm quite convinced, it is having neglected, overlooked, not recognized, not factored in the governance model and in the political philosophy and ideology that led to this. They all should have. They don't appear. They don't appear anywhere, either in literature or in the national philosophy and ideology. They don't even get mentioned.
Right, sir. It doesn't. When I've seen that after visiting Bangladesh, that it isn't much there.
Look, well, to my knowledge and understanding,
And
I continuously follow this. They have not. So what has happened? It is this gap. It is this gap, psychological, physical, social, cultural, which was lying, simmering, that has been exploited and built upon. Sheikh Mujib's assassination and his family, it happened because half the government was his own family members.
yeah,
Who were nowhere around on the field.
they weren't.
They weren't.
None of them.
People who were put into governance, they were nowhere around here. Sheikh Mujib was first in Dhaka, then in Pakistan, then in London, then in India.
His son was also like mostly in India.
All of them were in India. And they all got power there. So there should have been proportionate and quantum representation from all other segments of people. Freedom struggle. Political is only one part of it. Physical, social, cultural, where so many participated. Every segment had to be recognized and rewarded. And for this myopic, short-sighted, self-centered approach, you have lost out on everything that was gained 53 years ago.
Unfortunately, yes.
Sheikh Mujib's statue, his museum, his identity, his status, his symbol, everything has been obliterated, isn't it?
Completely destroyed.
It will never be rebuilt. And all this allowed what? Fundamentalism and radicalism to grow. Which anyway, Pakistan, this unfinished business, it's like a half-cooked meal.
Yeah,
You haven't cooked it well. You will eat it, you will end up with a bad stomach. And you would also lose the ingredients, which you haven't.
yeah.
So this had to be done, as I read it, and which was not done, and that is why it has led to this. But having said that, this has led also to the circle to go around what is happening to Pakistan in Pakistan today.
Yeah.
So what goes around, so your question when you asked, what will happen to them? They will now you will see the effect, impact and consequences of what they have been doing, feeling and happening in their own country. It'll happen.
Well, sir, coming to a lighter side, the war for you in 1971 as a second lieutenant was over. So after that, how has been your career in the Indian Armed Forces, sir?
Okay, after the war, I was sent for doing my para basic training to Agra.
Okay.
I did my 4 weeks of training.
I think
They
you got your wings before the course itself, right?
No, the policy demand that I have to finish my para basic training. So though having jumped in the war, which was recognized and which was applauded, I had to go back, finish my para basic. I did my para basic, and then I came back to the unit and I put in 24 and a half years of service. During my service, besides doing the regimental duties, and I did tenure as instructor, Indian Military Academy. I did my staff college. I did a tenure in the Military Operations Directorate as a Grade 1 officer looking after the internal security of the country. I did my staff. I was instructor in staff college. And then I quit the army in 1995. After quitting the army, I joined the corporate. I was in the corporate sector for 17 and a half years. In the corporate sector, I served for 3.5 years in the steel sector. I was with SR Steel, followed by I set up a packaged water company as a greenfield project startup. I set that up and took it to market for 18 months. I was in the packaged water. During these 18 months, not only did I set up this company, I also represented Indian packaged water industry in the Asian Bottled Water Association as an Indian industry representative. I also represented the Indian industry, packaged water industry at the International Bottled Water Association. I went to Hong Kong to attend these conventions, global conventions. I went to Jakarta, I went to New Orleans in US, and also set up this new company and took them to market. It took me 18 months to do that. That gave me a full experience of the corporate environment. Sales, marketing, manufacturing, and finance are the key to the corporate sector. While other aspects, I was better than anybody in the corporate world coming from the army. After having done that, then I opted to join. I went and joined the pharmaceutical industry, in which I served for 12 and a half years. I joined the business development department. And then I grew in that department, setting up newer businesses for WOCAD, hospitals. They were moving from pharmaceuticals into healthcare, setting up hospitals. To do that, I went for my training and education to Harvard Medical International, where one learned about integrated healthcare models, integrated tertiary care healthcare models, how to set up these hospitals, design and development of these hospitals, developing a management system for these hospitals. We set up these hospitals, and then after the WOCAD went into healthcare, then I was sent off as a managing director of a multinational company, a subsidiary of WOCAD, to Germany. And in 2012, I retired the second time, superannuating from WOCAD as a managing director of this company. This company was in sales and marketing, and it had a commercial and regulatory footprint in 26 countries. So I was looking after the business of this company in 26 countries. Entire Central Europe, Eastern Europe, all the CIS countries, right up to Cuba. So after 2012, I retired, came back to the stables. I live in Mohali, which is a tri-city in Chandigarh. I have my house here, and my wife and I, we live here. We have a daughter, one daughter. She is qualified from Melbourne Institute of Technology, masters from there. She is a high fashion designer and international merchandiser, qualified from Melbourne Institute of Technology. She is also Femina Miss India finalist. She's also Femina Look of the Year runners-up. She did some work uh, designing. She specialized in men's design, fashion designing for men. High end, very high end. She used to design for the Hindujas, the Birlas, the Ruiyas, the Tatas, for the film companies, for Vidhu Vinod Chopra, the producer. She used to design for the Shilpa Shetty's movies where Shilpa Shetty was there. Also for Juhi Chawla, for Rani Mukherjee, Kajol, and also for Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan is a great fan of my daughter, actually. He used to really, so she's a very successful designer besides having been qualified from overseas. She's married now. She's married to our son-in-law is a Swiss German boy from Zurich. He's a he's an investment banker. He's a qualified investment banker. He's worked for Credit Suisse, UBS, Julius Baer, Liechtenstein Global Trust. So he's at the global level. My daughter is a venture capitalist along with her husband. They live in Singapore. They are based in Singapore. They work out of Singapore. They have set up companies of their own. They invest. So that is what. My wife and I, we live here. We often travel to meet them. I spend most of my time traveling all over the world, somewhere or the other. I have traveled 108 countries. I've sailed and cruised in every ocean and every sea of this world except the Arctic region, Brent Sea, and Antarctic Ocean, which I will complete before I kick the bucket. That is what I am in. Otherwise, quite a peaceful life there. Peaceful, happy, and hopefully a successful life.
It's a wonderful attempt to spend your time in a very, what I guess, a productive way, sir, traveling the world.
Well, the aim is not to become a liability on the family and society, carrying medical problems on you.
Right.
I don't want to become a liability on my family or the society. So I try to remain fit. I do gym every day, 1.5 hours. At the age of 75, I read a lot. I spend a lot of time on the net. I follow international relations, geostrategy, geopolitics, and I keep myself, gingered up mentally and physically, and that's it. Otherwise,
anything you would like to say for anybody like thinking of joining the armed forces, or maybe somebody enthusiasts for maybe in the future wanting to join the Parachute Regiment or the Para SF?
Well, the Parachute Regiment has undergone a lot of change,
Right.
which I will share with you now. But advising people, yes, if you want to lead a quality, character-based, commitment-based, productive, and a clean and a neat life, making contributions significant, and living with challenges and dignity, join the armed forces. Join the army. And if you want to really take up adventure activity and be adventurous, join the Parachute Regiment. Now, all the parachute battalions largely have been converted into commando battalions. The situation, the environment, the battlefield has undergone several changes. Technology is playing a great deal. All right. It is dominating. The nature of warfare has undergone change. Low intensity conflict is something that is predominant. Air power is actually the front runner in the battlefield today.
Right.
You got technology coming in big time. You got the missile warfare, and you got artificial intelligence. So the warfare has undergone, the character of warfare has undergone phenomenal changes. it has become more interesting, it has become more challenging, it's become more fast, it is more decisive, and it has become more enabling. You know, just a mobile phone, you can enable anything. You can navigate, you can reach a spot. The time and space has changed. So these challenges all put together, no other environment will give you except the army, except the navy or the air force challenges. So people must join. But what is, you have dignity, you got respect, you got power, you got authority, you got stature. But what you don't have is a lot of money. And a lot of money cannot buy these things.
Right.
So the youth of today is not really inclined to take up jobs where there is not much money. So that is why there is a bit of stepping back by the youngsters. But I would say what you get in the army is more than enough, even in terms of money. All other privileges and perks put together, quality of life which your money would buy outside, dignity, respect, power, authority. When I was in my corporate life, I used to also run a lot of training sessions. And I used to be asked a question. Tell us, you have not been a management guy, you have not been in the corporate world, but what is that enables you to do so many things? You can do administration, you can do teaching, you can do logistics, you can do organizational development, you can develop models, and how come? Because there you have salesman, he's a salesperson, he's a marketing person, he's a finance person, he's logistics, he's IT. So then I used to tell them one thing. You're all into management. Can you tell me what skill of management is required to manage people to death? They wouldn't believe what the question. I said, tell me what level of management skill is required to manage people to death. They said, we don't know. I said, that is the skill that I have. And what does that require? I said, it is also a business. Yours, corporate is a business, that is also a business.
Right.
Here the currency is money, there the currency is manpower.
Manpower.
Here, how much less money you use to earn money, there is how many less lives I invest to gain my result and my victory. Now to do that, what is required? All that you people collectively do individually to make a team, I have to do all that and develop that potential in me to deliver on the battlefield. So this is, nowhere else will you get this. And I was able to do in the corporate world what I did because I came from the army. I could do everything. Those people were dependent. The finance man is dependent on the salesperson, the salesman on marketing person, the marketing man on the...
Right.
Here, you are the ones who have to be selling the plan to the troops and the commanders. Marketing the plan in terms of what I will use to achieve this objective. Marketing the plan to market the concept. This is the new concept I have. I have to do that. Logistics, using the resources to deliver my plan. I have to do it. Arranging for it. As for the finance is concerned, and I have to tell them, I said, the budget is what? there is no limit to budget being made available there. If I have to fire a bloody missile costing me 2 crores or 10 crores, I will do it. I don't have to ask. I said, so you look at the empowerment, look at the level of responsibility, and look at the resource assigned to you to manage all that you people do as a team, as a one person I do. That is what it takes to manage people to death. People don't die, go and get killed for anything else, but your ability to manage them and convince them, market the plan that look, this is what we will get out of it. And what we will get out of it is intangible, invisible, non-bankable. That is victory. And victory for the nation. और उसके ऊपर कोई टैक्स नहीं देना पड़ता है हमको. You are not taxed for this earning. So, if you want to do this, armed forces are the only places where you get a package in you to do all this. Challenges, yes. Deprivations, yes. Staying away from the family, constant movement. I think these are the things that the present day generation do not want to accept. They want stability, they want continuity, they want lots of money, they want to material possessions. 35 years ago they want to become millionaires.
Yeah.
And for 40 years they want to retire and play golf. So so people should join. The country, the most important element or the institute in any country is their armed forces. That is what ensures your safety, security and progression, because national security is also providing security to the environment so that you can flourish and grow. Your industry can flourish and grow. Your raw material processing can grow. Your procurement can grow. This is hard power, which enables you to build your soft power. Very important. Yeah.
Indeed, sir. It is. And we can see that in various countries right now, becoming unstable and the security systems, what I can say, degenerating slowly. Yeah.
Why go far? You see Pakistan happening.
Yeah.
You've seen Sri Lanka happening. You've seen Bangladesh happening
Right now, yeah.
Why go? So look at Bangladesh. You know what we have basis on which the entire debate is going on, and also look at what's happening in Pakistan. Because their armed forces very strong, but only strong to crush and run their country, which is not their job. They should defend their country.
Right.
Because their concept and marketing plan and their business plan is totally different. Totally different. And that is why they failed in Bangladesh, in East Pakistan. No?
They failed in Balochistan as well. Yeah.
Now they're failing in Balochistan. They failed, but now you see what's happening. It's crumbling. So, when we were talking the other day, I told you, East Pakistan, West Pakistan has already happened there.
Yeah.
Indus River running from north to south. South of Indus River is Punjab and Sindh. Both of them have affiliation, cultural, historic, political and social with India. North of Indus River is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the province, and Balochistan. Right. Both of them have no cultural, social, political affiliation with India. And they have affiliation with the Afghans and with the Iranians. So that division has already happened. So they lost East Pakistan, they've created one within their existing Pakistan, East Pakistan.
Right.
So this is what happens when your models are what they are. Their business model is what has taken them to this state. And now when it happens, I do feel that the process has already started. It will happen.
It will.
Sooner rather than later. Maybe in my lifetime, in my own personal assessment, maybe in my lifetime it will happen, maybe 10 years or so, it will happen. they will not remain in the state that they are today, for sure. For sure.
That is how I think
because their business model is a failed model. Their marketing is a failed marketing plan. They were doing what they are not supposed to do. They don't do what they are supposed to do.
Right.
And when you keep your 2 feet in 2 different boats, then your legs are bound to split. Isn't it?
And they will. They will. Seeing the current situation, they will.
They have to. They have to. Now the Balochistan, what they have done in the last week, or in the last few days, they pulled out Punjabis and killed them.
Yeah.
So what the Punjabis and Pathan did to Bengalis, Balochis and Pashtuns will do it to them now. And it is the Punjabi supremacy which is sitting in the core of the problem. It's Punjabi supremacy.
Yeah, because they created the country according to them, not including anybody else.
Yes, whether it's the army or the governance structure, it's all Punjabi centric.
Yeah.
And their business model is to how to engineer and re-engineer this model internally and not externally. Externally is only a narrative to get control on the budget. 40% of the budget goes to the armed forces.
Right.
Armed forces are running, that Fauji Foundation is running Army Inc. Corporation. They are having fertilizer, they've got steel, they've got Fauji foods, they've got including sanitary napkins and pampers they are making. So a person retires, then moves into Fauji Foundation. He again serves. So all these, it is a very complex and illogical model that they have developed, business model they have developed for themselves. And their marketing plan is internal, and external is only a narrative to remain in control, and not their commitment. It's a narrative. So that is my view as far as this thing is concerned. What goes around will come around. What they have done they will be suffering the same. It will get done to them as well. And hopefully, under your new caretaker government in Bangladesh, he's a sensible man. He's a sensible man.
And just wait and watch, nothing else.
We'll have to wait and watch. We'll have to wait and watch, sure. But a lot has been lost.
A lot.
They have to rebuild now. Rebuild. They have demolished the body and the soul and the spirit of the nation. That is damaged. That is harmed.
Unfortunately, yes. So thank you, sir, for being here and talking about your experiences in the 71 war. And I heartily, sir, thank you for whatever you have done and your battalion has done for the liberation of Bangladesh and for the exceptional services of whatever you have done after the liberation of Bangladesh for India and the Indian Armed Forces. Thank you so much, sir.
So very kind of you to say all that, and I appreciate the effort that you are putting into document and live with the historical realities and fact of the region. And considering that you have a very strong linkage with Bangladesh, I understand your father is from Bangladesh and your mother is, so it's a family connection, so you are emotionally and umbilically connected to Bangladesh.
Yes, sir.
I really admire and appreciate your spirit with which you are pursuing your passion and commitment towards documenting his history. I hope whatever you expected of me to make a contribution, I hope that helps you, and you are able to put it to good use to add value to your effort and your commitment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and we'll talk again and meet again. And
Yeah, we'll remain in touch there.
सभी को thank you for watching this video to the end and having a really good time in watching the entire series of videos जहां पे Colonel Gill gives us a wholesome description as a paratrooper and as a soldier in the Indian Army, taking part in liberating a suffering humanity, and also talking about his own experiences of his second innings and what he thinks of the current situation in Bangladesh, including speaking about the horrific atrocities committed by the Pakistani forces in erstwhile East Pakistan, Bangladesh. मैं दिल से कर्नल गिल को थैंक यू बोलना चाहूंगा फॉर स्पेंडिंग सो मच टाइम विथ मी एंड ब्रिंगिंग आउट दीज अननोन फैक्ट्स टू द पब्लिक, ताकि हमारे देश में इस बारे में चर्चा होता रहे कि ये धरती शेर भी पैदा करती है जो आसमान से भी टपक के दुश्मन का खात्मा इजीली कर सकता है. थैंक यू टू ऑल ऑफ द वेटरन्स ऑफ द 2 पैराशूट रेजिमेंट जिन्होंने बांग्लादेश की आजादी के जंग में हिस्सा लिया था. एंड थैंक यू ऑल मरून बरेट इफ यू हैव वॉच्ड माय वीडियोस. Thank you so much for whatever you all have done in 1971.